Well,
Well,
here we are, and I am in a funk. Already told I am in such a funk that I showed up to Nick's place looking like a finance bro, as quoted by Nick.
no, tech bro, tech bro.
Oh, tech bro. Oh yeah, tech bro. Because I would never get finance, unfortunately. Because why? We don't see enough brown faces in finance.
Oh, but in tech,
Oh,
trust.
honey. And I can say that, and you can't. So wow, not the colorism coming strong today. This Easter Saturday.
No, it's Holy Saturday.
Oh, it's Holy Saturday because I guess so. Okay, so the way Easter works is Jesus done got killed on Friday.
Well, actually, it starts on Palm Sunday, which was last Sunday.
Last Sunday, I know. So Palm Sunday starts because that's when Jesus comes back to the town,
And everyone is laying out their palms
and
for
everyone's like,
him.
"Oh my God, we love Jesus!" But then things.
But then they use all those palms to burn for the ashes for Ash Wednesday the following year.
And what? So why are the palms being burned? In the biblical sense.
Well, so those get burned for Ash Wednesday because then you're reminded, remember you are dust, to dust you shall return.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, let's actually talk about Easter real quick because so then he comes back because we both went to Catholic schools and like we should know the story.
Right. So Thursday was the Last Supper.
Right, but no. But let's talk about the drama that ensued beforehand. So Miss Jesus gets to town and he's like, I'm the devilish.
It's
Right?
no, it's like very pop star, like walking through the crowd of people. Everyone's
Of course.
like, ah!
It's like Lady Gaga at Coachella. Like,
very much.
So then, when does the turn happen? Because I forget. Like, I know Pontius Pilate was like, y'all figure it out.
Well,
But
that's like because then Judas betrays.
yeah, but what is the betrayal? Like, what occurs that makes people turn on Jesus? What happened?
So Jesus.
I'm Pioneer Peru.
I'm Trailblazer Nick. This is Pioneers
Pioneers
and
and
Trailblazers.
Trailblazers.
Well, because the Romans always had it out for Miss Jesus because obviously they're, according to legend.
According to the book of fiction, the work of fiction.
Well, listen, we can also get into that in a second too, but because
Let's-
my religion teachers in middle school hated my ass
because you were like, so.
No, because I remember we learned literally, I think this was in 7th grade, our teacher was like, oh, so God didn't write the Bible, he influenced it. Like he like came to the apostles in like a vision and like they wrote it. And so then I raised my hand and I was like, so if he just like influenced it, what if they got something wrong? And then she was like, they didn't. And I said, right, but you said that he didn't write it himself. So like man make mistakes. Like that we're human, we're flawed. Like, so you don't think maybe they misinterpreted something? And she like could not respond. And I just remember sitting there being like, wait, but I'm genuinely curious. And she thought that I was like trying to start a fight. And so she got mad at me.
The thing with me though is that always like that was different about like it's almost like as an artist too. It's just like so you're telling me everyone submitted their drafts basically like everyone submitted a chapter for this book. And then everyone's just like, okay, cool,
Well, and if you read the like in the New Testament, the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John,
Yes.
they're all the same stories but slightly different.
I know because everyone has their own take
From their
who
own
knows?
perspective.
From their own perspective, and as we all know, everything
Well, and if we have to, and also let's not forget that history is written by those who succeed, and so if they want to make themselves look better, maybe they
Absolutely.
dramatize some things. But anyway,
So then
basically,
okay,
what happened? The Romans want to get Jesus because he's converting people to Catholicism, Christianity. They're like, oh, we don't like this. Also, he's like telling them to like money's not important, and they're like, ugh.
right.
And so then I don't remember why. I can't remember where the
betrayal happens.
Well, no, the betrayal happens Last Supper, but I can't remember the reason why Miss Judas was like, ugh, fuck Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drag her ass. I'm gonna send her
Peru T.
Oh, 100%, and I'm
like,
Jesus.
why are you gonna go get
No, and I'm Jesus, and you're like, and then you're like, I'm gonna sell my bestie off
No,
for a
honey.
couple for what is it, 50 silver pieces or something?
I don't know, but I mean, your hair is giving Jesus, but you know what? You're the lady in the freaking town square that was getting the pennies.
I'm Mary Magdalene giving my pussy up.
No, honey. If anything, I'm Mary Magdalene. But no, you're the lady in the town square who was getting the pennies. You know the story of the pennies. The lady that was just collecting pennies. There was a lady in the Bible that was collecting pennies.
Or Veronica. I was probably Veronica, the girlie who wiped Jesus' face when he was with the cross, and then his face was left a mark on the.
Oh, that's you. You're
Yeah.
Veronica, because you're like, oh my god.
Well, then I'd frame that shit. Trust I'd be like, wait, he's sexy as fuck.
Okay, wait. So then, like, they're turning on him, and there's an exciting event that occurs that then
I can't remember, but
and
anyway,
so
but then
people turn.
the Last Supper happens, and Jesus is being messy, and he's like, one of you will betray me tonight, and then everyone's like, ooh, gooped and gagged.
I know everyone's like the traitors. Everyone's just like, wait.
Well, no, and then Judas like walks away, and then he goes to the Romans, and he's like, "Ooh, the guy that I kiss on the left cheek. I think it's the left cheek or the right. I can't remember which cheek it was, but he's like, the guy that I'm gonna kiss, blah blah. That's Jesus. That's the one that you have to get." And then he goes to the Garden of is it Gethsemane? And then he's like has his moment where he's like, "God, why?
Why? Like,
does it need to be me? Like, please, can it be anybody
and
else?"
then he kills himself, right?
Well, no. So then Judas appears and then kisses him on the cheek, and then they like arrest him. That happens. So that's
Yeah, but I mean, I'm like,
no,
what-
and then
but
Judas.
what did Judas went over there and say to the Romans? Because Jesus is sucking dick and cock.
No. He was. I think.
Title of episode.
I think they were just trying to find him. I can't remember. They were looking. They were.
Something already happened. The turn already occurred. I think.
Well, no, because they used like the. God, now I feel stupid because I don't remember.
See,
but there is like a they were trying
religious townspeople.
very
Please
much
comment.
very much like Miss Trump with Mr. what's his name Garcia, what's his name in El Salvador, who like got
The
deported.
president? Oh no, the actual citizen, the
The
U.S. citizen
citizen
who got wrongfully deported.
Yeah, they like came up with some sort of like lame excuse to be like, well, actually, he's a criminal.
Oh.
And and then Judas is like, oh, I'll show you which one to arrest, and then that's when he kisses him, and then they arrest him, and then
Gotcha,
and then Good
gotcha.
Friday, Miss Thing carries the cross up to Calvary, and then they crucify him.
Yeah, they crucify her.
Also, what a cunty way to kill somebody.
I know,
Crucifixion is
girl.
honestly so fucking cunty.
But also at the same time, it's just like, okay, listen, if you're gonna kill me, I might as well make a show out of it. You know, I'll be charging tickets.
Well,
I'll be
also-
like, link in bio, guys. My killing's happening tomorrow.
but also like would never want to be crucified because they like described it when I was in school and stuff, and like the whole point is like they like try to dehydrate you and like you're holding your own body weight up essentially on this
Of course,
cross,
yeah.
and like it's extremely painful, and basically you starve up there essentially.
And then there's like it's okay. So then he goes to the town square. He gets killed. Then that's on Friday. But then I thought that well, I guess in like today's time, that's the progression of like how we place Easter. But then he dies, and then it takes 3 days for him to resurrect, which makes no sense then, because then if he dies on Friday, why is he back on Sunday? That's only 2 days.
Well, we have to think. So he dies on Friday. Saturday, comes back Sunday.
Well, I guess that's technically three calendar days.
Within 3 days.
Within 3 days.
And then, of course, because Mary Magdalene goes to the tomb, she sees that it's been opened, and she goes, "Ah!" He's
yeah.
not
Also,
there.
what the hell was she like? Didn't she have like fucking gigs to fulfill? Why does she have all this time?
Well, no,
to go
she
to the
became
tombs?
religious. She became religious, and she devoted her life to Jesus. She's probably sucking that dick.
Oh, I mean that is the theory though.
Me,
that
though.
Miss Mary Magdalene was fucking Jesus. And
well,
listen,
well, also those disciples were fucking each other, girl. 12
I
men,
know, but
12
also,
men.
but again, listen, and this is not even to desecrate Jesus, because we know we do have townspeople who are religious. So listen,
Are they?
remember last week we talked about that townsperson that was like, "I love Jesus, but I also love you guys."
Oh.
See, but at the same time, listen. I mean, I'm an atheist, but at the same time, I will say,
I'm a believer.
You're a trusted believer. Thank you, Patreon trusted believers. Link in bio. But I will say, as any leaders or any you cannot tell me that Jesus wasn't at least a little bit into the attention. Like Jesus had to be like a little okay, damn girl, they really do be loving me up in here. When he was like,
when the crowd shows up for his crucifixion, he's up on that cross being like, damn, they're gagging for me.
wait, everyone's crying for me. Shit.
And he's like, wait, my waist is so snatched right now.
Stop, Diva.
I look so good right now. Everyone take photos.
But Jesus was also there was moments in time in which I'm sure he experienced some kind of privilege from being like a famous figure. When they were all.
But he was like money. But he hated money famously.
I know, but you can't tell me. You can't tell me when somebody offered him like the bigger stone to say that he wasn't just like, no, please. He was getting on.
Well, kind of famously, he would give it to those who need. So.
I know, but I'm saying when he was making his speeches and sermons and stuff, he had to find higher ground, a place where everyone could see him. So he was all about the visuals, I believe. You cannot tell me that Jesus wasn't about the visuals. He wanted to make sure that everything was on brand for him.
Well, he was all about the fun, because remember he turned that water into wine. He said, "Mama, we're gonna party."
It's like, Mama, this town is boring as fuck. We're gonna have to get some wine.
He's like,
up in
everybody
here."
chill. Everyone's freaking the fuck out. They're like, there's no alcohol at the pregame. He's like,
then-
everybody relax.
And then he just made bread, right? He turned what into bread?
He turned fish in loaves. He multiplied them.
He multiplied them because he was like, honey, we're gonna get fucked up. We need those carbs.
Well, no, that was different. That was different. So the one was like at a wedding, and then there was no wine, and so he turned barrels of water into wine.
Oh, again, see, Jesus is on my team. We need an open bar wedding, girl. He was like, there was no fucking open bar.
He shows up and he's like, damn, there's not enough alcohol here.
He's like,
he said, hold up, he's like, don't worry, I got it.
I gotta get a buzz. So then, anyway, so then, and then I guess he rises. We're recording this on Saturday. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter, I guess, to anyone who enjoyed the celebration. Although in the service industry, as we know, Easter, oh my God, in service, Easter comes second as the worst brunch service of the year. Are you listening to me?
I am. I just have a knot in my hair.
Oh no! Well, then stop
fine.
touching it.
Well, no, I'm trying to get it out.
Anyway,
so it doesn't fuck up my hair.
In the service industry, Easter Sunday is the second worst brunch of the year.
And I'm working it.
And you know what? Number one, Mother's Day. Why? Mother's Day and Easter Sunday are the two brunches in which people who are relatively supposed to be happy and congenial with each other hate each other to the gods. Everyone cannot stand each other. Families hate each other. Everyone's fighting, and they're taking it out on service workers. So shout out to all service workers who worked or are working Easter Sunday because they deserve it. They deserve all the energy.
Yeah, shout out to me because I will be working brunch tomorrow. And it's already getting on my nerves. Like I've already not prepared. But tomorrow is also what? 420. So trust. As soon as I clock out, we will be blazing.
Honey, as soon as you log in, you know you're gonna be doing an edible, girl. As soon as you enter that building, and I know my sister, you're smiling because
don't
it's
say
true.
that. Don't say that because I'm professional at the job.
Sure.
But I will say I'm gonna maybe depending on what the weather's like tomorrow.
Well, famously, somebody got fired for doing coke on premise. So.
Right. And I'm very much cautious, and now I don't do substances on the job. Not that I ever did. But
nothing will compare with like the mutual manager that I was trying to fuck, and now he never responded to my text after I left. So I guess fuck you. But at the same time, I will never forget his first day as manager when a friend, mutual friend. Well, I guess I will not say her name because we do something that we're not supposed to do. But we were having a terrible day on this specific manager's first day on the floor as a manager, and literally we're just like, fuck this place, I hate everyone. And then Mikey, it was his last day. So the four of us went into the manager's locker room, which is running across from the men's bathroom at the establishment. And we all were like, we got a party today. And we all partied in that freaking place. And then I remember this manager was just like, oh, is that what happens here? And then we're like, girl, get ready because we hate this place. So we just opened up some White Claws and literally we're just like chugging fucking alcohol in that freaking locker room. And that was how we welcomed him. It's pretty good.
And meanwhile, I was actually doing my job. So thank you.
No, I'm sure if anything was... Oh, no, actually... Well, never mind. I'm not going to say what you may or may not indulge in because...
What?
Technically, you're still on their dollar, so...
Yeah.
I don't want to disclose things that you may or may not have done in that...
And I just got on their health insurance. Thank you very much. So,
you did?
Yeah.
Girl, it's not... I don't know, girl. How much out of your check is going to come out?
$90 a week.
A week? See? Girl... The healthcare in this fucking country.
But the thing is that I need it, so I'm not gonna...
I just need it for my visual and my dental but those are the two more expensive things. Everything else I can traverse and figure it out Latino style with like Vicks Vapor Rub and a prayer. But my eyesight and like my teeth are things that like needing immediate assistance, and that's the most expensive things to like get taken care of.
I know, and I haven't had dental insurance in like a while, so like
I haven't had dental insurance in my life, I think.
I did as a child.
Well, okay, I guess never mind. Yes,
but
when I was a kid, yeah.
But then I never like had dental. Like since moving here, I haven't seen a dentist like here in the city. I've only ever gone to the dentist when I've like been home and visited my parents because like I was on their insurance, so we would just go to the dentist that I would see. But now I'm on dental insurance, and I think I might have a cavity. So
really?
I feel like, yeah, because like sometimes when I'm chewing on this side, like I have a tooth that's a little bit sensitive, and I'm like, oh no.
No, I was lucky.
But now I have dental, so
I was lucky enough that in Peru, again, because we were famously like not poor, which we were enriched, but we definitely weren't poor. I mean, I did have my birthday parties with a DJ and a jacuzzi and a pool at my dad's hotel, but you know, we had our own struggles. I had emotional trauma carry over.
Sure.
I don't have any monetary traumas from when I was a kid.
Right, and some of us had emotional and monetary struggles. So who's winning the Oppression Olympics now?
The Oppression Olympics, I'm winning right now because guess what? I've been out of a job for over a month, and like, Mama needs a check.
Well,
which also was it was my own doing, and that was what part of like my town hall, which was like I have been in a funk this whole week, and now the weather in the city, New York City townspeople. I don't know how y'all do it, or any townspeople with allergies in general, or like susceptible to weather changes. Like,
it's been bad.
It's been bad, and it's a testament to like how the world is ending. Because there was one day today is like 80 degrees outside, honey. On Tuesday, Wednesday, it was 38 degrees.
Climate change.
It rained one day. Like, the weather has kept, and I think for me, everyone today, for example, is out and about because it's like 80 degrees, and of course New Yorkers now is like, patio season's upon us, let's fucking eat brunch outside, bring our fucking dogs. And like, a drastic change in season like this really affects me psychologically. So today when I went to walk Clover out, the amount of depression that overcame my body, Nick, and like, I'm being funny, but I'm also being really serious about the mental toll today took, how the weather is now, everything's perfect and everyone's just excited and elated and just enjoying life. And I'm like, I wasn't ready to jump the boom boom gun on happiness today. Like, I've been in a funk all week, and then now we have 80-degree weather and everyone's loving life. I am so moody today, which is why I told Nick before starting recording, we were supposed to go see play together tonight that is being put up by his alma mater.
Shout out NYU.
Shout out Ivy.
One of my besties, literally a sister to me, directed it, and so like I'm going to support her. I'm still seeing it. Seeing it.
And like, I had a moment of honesty. Well, I guess I'm having a moment of honesty here as we're recording. But earlier today, I did text Nick, and I was like, Nick, like, would you hate me? Because I don't know if anybody relates, but sometimes like, the psychology of my mood will prevent me from enjoying anything. And I know you, just before we started recording, you said maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're just telling yourself that you're gonna feel this way, so you're fulfilling it. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure, basically. But I feel like you and I also understand that psychology is a lot more complex than that. And like,
sure,
I feel like right now I'm in a funk, not only about my life, but I'm also in a funk just about like finances and income, and like, what am I supposed to, like, I'm like, am I supposed to like be in like a different bracket? Like, my birthday just happened, and I'm just like, wait, those like existential things that happen like post birthday, when you're like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And then
see, I don't have those, but
I don't have those, like,
no.
So, well, I guess
not like around my birthday. Like I do have those moments where I do feel existential, but it's never like tied to like a specific event or like whatever. It's usually if I have nothing going on in my life, where I feel like I don't have sort of like a set plan of like where I'm going, like a direction, which that can happen whenever. But I think now I'm in a very like comfortable place because I feel very secure. I feel very balanced in a way that I haven't in like quite some time. And honestly, it's kind of crazy. This is somewhat related, but I've been thinking a lot recently because there's this creator on TikTok that I have been mutuals with, but now she is sort of getting canceled online because it's been revealed that she voted for Trump, and I started following her because she's a trans creator and was like just like openly talking about like her experience, and also like her videos were very just sort of like fun and like silly and dumb. But now as time has gone on, I think she's sort of like crashing out and having like a spiral, and people in her comments are like talking about it and are like, oh my god, they're like, this girl has a drug problem, like all this stuff, like look at her pupils, they're so dilated, like this girl's crazy, like all whatever. And a part of me like is reflecting back to maybe like 2 summers ago, where like I had like a similar crash out sort of thing feeling, but not to that extent. But I sort of like had that existential moment of like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know, like I'm just gonna like smoke all day, get really high, just because like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna like numb everything and like whatever, because I was trying to avoid or address like the task, like the problem at hand, which has since been addressed, which is like great, and I'm in a much better place. Yay! But like through that period of time, I felt so like moody, cranky, didn't know what I was doing, just felt stressed out all the time. And I think like I've gotten through that, which is like great, but I also can like, so I understand like what you're going through, and I understand like the feeling of it, and like I can recognize it in other people, and like I'm very lucky now that I feel in a much like more secure place. But it is like tough because especially when you're going through something like that and you don't, at least for me, like I like to know where I'm headed. Like I need to have security of things lined up for me to feel somewhat sane. And without that, if I'm just like I'm a control freak. That essentially that's what it is. And so if I don't feel in control of my life, then I spiral. And so that's how it is for me. Like it's never tied to a specific life event or like a birthday, like getting a year older, like, oh, now I have to figure things out. It's more so of like, am I in control of my life right now? If I don't feel in control, then I feel crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that the common denominator of like me going into like, I guess, an existential phase and like a moody funk kind of thing also ties, and this always happens. You know, I'm like announcing a show soon, basically in the next week, whatnot. But same show I did before, just a new date. And anytime I'm like, and it's kind of fucked up in a way. Like, you know, the artist life really isn't for everybody, and I'm not here to get on a high horse or soapbox about like who should pursue art and who shouldn't. But let me tell you, you know, being an artist, being a creator, performer, anything of that sense, it's just not for the weak-hearted. It really isn't, because you can go through so many like roller coaster of emotions, and like in order to create, I feel like for me too, like something has to snap even sometimes, I feel like, for me to feel inspired. And like I always feel the most inspired when I'm going through like some kind of like thing. So creatively I felt like, oh, like I really like I'm finding so oh my god, oh my god, that was so scary. Oh my god, townspeople, oh my god, visual learners, I don't know if you heard that, but something fell in Nick's closet.
It was just a sweatshirt that fell.
Girl, the way I thought that was an animal, I was about to run out of here.
What kind of animal?
I don't know. Maybe Jesus is listening. Maybe Jesus wants to let me know he's here.
Right.
Maybe he heard all of our talk. Be like, divas, I'm here to set the record straight.
He said, "BB,
girl, you got it all wrong."
Also, you're going to hell.
Also, P.S. You guys are gonna go to hell. But anyway, so anytime I'm about to do a show, and you know this actually, I always tell you, like he was like, hey Peru, like, hey, do you want to go see like Richard Perez, who's a great comedian? You know, I want to go see him. I'm like, Diva, I love you, but right now, I absolutely cannot consume anyone who's doing a solo show or something that remotely comes close to what I'm doing. Why? Because my brain is so fucked up that I will spend the entire time either judging it subjectively, not even objectively. I will just be, because my brain is fucked. Like, I have an evil person in my head who will not let me.
Have we tried to address that ever?
I mean, I've gone to therapy. I haven't been to therapy in almost like a year at this point, which is, I mean, I had a. Therapy is also a long story, and I feel like I really need to get back on it just to like be able to process coping mechanisms, regulate. Because, but at the same time, not to like glamorize the suffering of an artist, but it is something that like I don't think therapy or medication or just a good look at myself and a positive attitude is ever gonna fix the fact that like if I'm in a creative space and I'm creating something, it's hard for me to consume certain things unless they're directly gonna influence or inspire me specifically. You know what I mean? So today,
you don't think you could gain something from anything, like even if it's not.
No, especially if it's someone who's just like, I could not watch right now. I could not watch someone who's doing something remotely close to what I'm doing, especially if they're contemporaries in the field, because I just will not be. I'll feel like self-deprecated. I'll feel like even wrongly influenced. Like I'll feel like, oh, like maybe these people are doing this. Maybe I should do something more like that. Like I feel like I'm so protective over my creative process that like I can't touch anything that I feel might fuck it up. You know, so lately I've been, like I told you, like I've been in such a, really inspired by like Latin culture, pop culture, music, and just like me and my brownness, And so like lately I've been watching things that are much more closely tied to that, that make me feel like more connected to that. And so being that I'm in a funk, all tea, all shade, I was like, mommy. Okay, sorry. That
Okay.
Came out. Sorry, see, that actually came out of nowhere. I didn't mean to call you mommy. I'm sorry.
I didn't like that. Not from you, maybe from someone else. I'd be like, okay, wait, I'm mommy. Wait,
so sorry.
Wait, that reminds me. I have to tell you something off pod that but related to last night. Related to last night.
But anyway, so to just close out, a little bit more of like a, whatever, like Miss Peru is just in a creative, I guess, K-hole, meaning that like I'm just like overstimulated by like my creativeness and my emotional funk is not helping it. But I was like, Nick, as much as I love you, right now, if I were to go see the play of NYU students of performance,
mind you, second years, they're sophomores.
Like I'm not like
it's not Tony Award winning,
which even makes it even more like I don't want to because my brain's gonna be like these fucking privileged, mostly white bitches.
Actually, Ellen, that's not true. A lot of them, it's very diverse. They actively.
Well, let's hope you better take a photo of that cast, mommy, and send it to me because I want to see. But and this is this more about like my emotional and mental state than them. It's definitely nothing to do with them. But if the play's bad, I'm gonna hate it because I'm just like these privileged idiots. If the play's great, I'm gonna hate it because I'm just like these privileged idiots who have talent. And then if I'm there with you, and then there's gonna be other. I can't.
My mindset is always when I'm seeing something is if it's bad, okay, there's always something to learn from it of like what would I do to improve, which then gets my brain working in a way that is a little bit more sort of like director producer, instead of like maybe necessarily like creative, like ooh, like writer, like whatever. Or if it's good, then I'm like, wow, I feel so invigorated. I saw great art.
Yeah, at my best, when I'm feeling my best, I absolutely can do that. I am not that trash of a person. But since I am in a very vulnerable space creatively, unfortunately, I'm acknowledging that may not be the best, nicest person, and that's okay, which is why I'm saving myself too, because then I don't, there's nothing worse than going out with someone and then they're like being all negative or just, and you're like, why the fuck are you here, So many times when we're out with friends sometimes and we feel like maybe one person is being like, I don't know, not in a good mood. When I'm like, no one forced you to come out, girl. Like, you don't have to be out. You could have just stayed home. So I'm choosing to stay home.
Sure.
But anyway, like I know you wanted to tell me something about your predicaments from this week, because I, as Miss Nick and the townspeople also know, one of my other favorite ways to cope with something is sex. And I'm back in full force. And I cannot wait to tell you about it.
Well, I haven't had any sex this week. But I'll talk about my dinner last night on the Patreon because unfortunately it's a little too revealing, and I think I don't want to.
Same daddy. We haven't named this daddy yet. What are we naming this daddy? I mean, we already named the daddy on the Patreon, low key for real. But
yeah. I've just
cuddly daddy.
I've just been referring to him as old, which I'm like because he is. He's 67 years old. But he's very sweet.
You're gonna gag when I tell you. Okay.
No, I went out to dinner with him last night, and some stuff happened.
Yeah. Tells people the person that Nick was just like, I don't want it. I'm not it. Yeah. The natural thing for Miss Nick to do is go to dinner with the person that he's not interested in.
But no, because I do genuinely enjoy his company. Like I really do. Like I think he's very sweet, and like he is very smart, and like he's very like well connected, and he has a lot of. He knows a lot of people specifically in sort of the art and like journalism world.
You didn't take it out to dinner. Miss John, a founding town council member. Shout out to John.
Shout out.
Also got dined out boots, bitch.
Really?
She got dined out to Nobu, but I don't want to reveal too much tea, but I'll tell. Girl, die money, like dined out, diva.
Okay, I mean, I have thoughts on that. This dinner wasn't that, but I'll.
Where did you end up going?
Well, I'll talk about it on the pod. I mean, the Patreon.
Oh, you don't want to even disclose anything about it?
No, I'm gonna save it because
Oh.
I do think he made a comment where when we were at dinner, he was like, "Listen, I haven't looked into your podcast." He's like, "I want to give you." He's like, "I don't." He's like, "I don't want to be overbearing or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." He was like, "Yeah." He's like, I would rather just like get to know you or whatever." And it made me feel like, I don't know. Like, I think if I'm going to talk about him, I don't want to have like a sort of like open trail, where he can easily access it. I'd rather put it behind a paywall because then I would know if he like subscribed to the Patreon, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, well, actually, let me block him real quick. But
Well, I guess, but we've never on this podcast, season 1 and now season 2. We've only famously encountered one instance where someone was upset, and that was me. It was Wicked Guy who on the train.
I know, but
confronted me.
I've had plenty of experiences, not through the podcast, but through TikTok, where people
they
have
clocked it.
Yeah, and like they've like, oh, I saw the TikTok you made about me, and listen,
Listen.
majority of the time, specifically with that is more so dramatized comedy for the sake of, like I'm doing sort of mini stand-up sets on TikTok.
We did this last week. Like you're crafting this. It's not just like
Yeah,
let me read this
and
person.
my intention is never to sort of make fun of the person or try to call them out or like whatever. Like it's more so just like it's silly. And so if someone were to come across it and like feel a certain type of way about it, like that makes obviously I would feel guilty, and which maybe I don't necessarily need to.
No, but
I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I'll talk about it on the Patreon.
Okay,
And it wasn't that eventful, but it was just like kind of silly. But then anyway, more so my big thing this week was just like I was kind of in a funk this week, but more so I was just like in a bad mood, just like really irritable. And then I was having so many issues with specifically medical bills because I started going to Callan.
Medical bills.
I started going to Callan Lord for like my, primary physician and stuff. And like I'm doing, like I get my prep through them now and whatever. And so I was signed up for this government.
Yeah, you're welcome. Who introduced you? Your sister, who is the most rotted gay person online according to everybody, but behind the paywall, behind closed doors, I'm your sister.
So thank you for that. And so they signed me up for this like program where I don't have to pay for anything. Like it's all covered or whatever.
Shout out Gilead.
Shout out Gilead. Shout out New York Uninsured CARES program. But so anyway, I got billed like a week and a half ago, 2 separate bills that added up to almost $2,000. And it was all for the prep labs. And I remember I reached out to the caseworker and I went, hey, like I know I'm not supposed to be charged for this, so I'm a little bit confused as to why I'm receiving this bill that's like so expensive when it was supposed to be literally $0. And he was like, oh my God, no worries. Like I'm gonna look into it for you. I'll get back to you. And then he said, okay, they're like looking into it. I'll reach back out and let you know what's going on. And then I didn't hear back until Wednesday. And he was like, so you have to call LabCorp, which is like the lab like billing place or whatever, and like give them this information so they can try to submit a new claim or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. It was such a pain in the ass though. And so I had to call them yesterday. The person on the phone, dumb as a doornail. Like I truly was trying to explain.
No shade. We love those workers who are underpaid.
No, and I was being so. And listen, I understand.
You answer phones for a living.
I answer phones for a living.
I guess
I know what it's like whenever I'm calling a
part
place.
time.
No, full time.
Well, you creative full time in my eyes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. But like whenever I'm in a situation where I'm calling somebody to like ask for help for them to do their job or whatever, I understand what someone goes through. Sometimes they don't have all of the information. Sometimes you really have to come onto the call knowing everything because that person may not know the exact avenues of going about certain things, even though it's their fucking job. So I called and I was like, hey, I got billed for this thing. I'm not supposed to be billed for it. I have all this information for you to submit a new claim. Just let me know, like, when you want the number. I'll give it to you. Submit. And the person was like, I'm sorry, for what? Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I was billed 2 separate bills. And they're like, okay, hold on. And then they were like, wait, so is this your insurance? You have new insurance? And I was like, no, I don't have insurance, but you have to submit a claim through this. And so then I was trying to give all this information. I was on that phone call for 45 minutes. Like it was supposed to just be quick and easy. And the person, thankfully I was patient and I was being very nice. And the person on the other end was very nice too. I think he just like wasn't prepared for what was being asked of him, or he just like had never done it before. Thankfully, it all got figured out, and he submitted the claim, and it should be fine. But that was something that I wasn't even supposed to do in the first place. That was already supposed to be taken care of. And then I also signed up for my job's health insurance or whatever, because I had submitted this thing, because when you lose your health insurance and you're trying to sign up for Medicaid or whatever health insurance that your job provides, you have to do it within, like, for some places 30 days, and then for Medicaid it's 60 days. It was 62 days.
Oh no!
When I tried to submit for Medicaid, and because I was just being lazy and dumb, and like it was on me, like I should have done it on time, and been responsible. But of course, I was being stupid. And so when I tried to do it, they're like, "Oh, you would qualify, but you gotta wait till November 1st for the open enrollment." And I was like, I have medical bill. Like I have a doctor's appointment scheduled next month that I have to go to, that I'm going to get labs for. I'm like, I need to have insurance.
Well, I hate to tell you, Nick, but welcome to being an adult.
I know. Well, I know, and it's been a crash course. It's been really illuminating and eye opening. Trust.
Okay.
And so then
Please do a vlog about it.
So got denied the Medicaid or whatever, and so then I was like, okay. I was like, last ditch resort, I signed up for works insurance, which I didn't really want to do because it's more expensive than I wanted to pay. I would rather just do Medicaid and pay whatever the minimal amount was. Also because Callan Lord takes Medicaid, which is great, and that would all be taken care of.
Yeah.
And so then I like reached out because I submitted. This is probably so exciting for everyone who's listening. I know everyone's
listen. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who are like either have insurance or don't have insurance. We're all contemporaries. We're all going through the trials and tribulations of American health. Well, actually, no, because many times people are famously from
international
for other countries.
Well, now they can listen. They go, wow, I'm so glad I don't live in America.
I know.
But so then when I initially lost my parents' insurance when I turned 26, I had submitted a form through work to try to get on work's health insurance. But then they sent me an email maybe a week after I submitted it, being like, hey, you didn't finish this. Are you still whatever? And then at that point I was like, I'm just gonna get Medicaid. Like, it's fine. I'm just whatever. And so again, on me that I didn't respond. And so then I responded when I got denied Medicaid, which was like 2 months after they emailed me, and I was like, oh my God, this went to my spam folder. That's so crazy. And I was like, oh my God, could I still sign up for health insurance? And they were like, well, technically it's past the window, but you submitted your claim within like when you lost your insurance, so it technically still counts. They're like, do you have proof that you lost it? And I was like, yeah. I sent them the letter, and they're like, okay. And you were denied Medicaid, and I went, uh-huh. And they were like, what day? And I was like, early March. And they're like, okay, just like resubmit the form and we'll get you set up. And I was like, thank you. And of course, then I signed up for it, and then immediately I was like, wait, does this even cover what I need it to cover? And I Googled it, and thankfully it does, but it's just a lot of hoops that you have to jump through in order to make it happen. But all that to just live my life as an adult and make sure that I am healthy and taken care of, and that if I ever were to have a medical issue, I wouldn't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money, and all that.
But can you tell me, because you're having a good experience with Callan Lord, aren't you? They're all in general, everyone who works there, is doing.
Oh, I love it.
Really doing the Lord's work. Talk about Easter.
Me and my Dr. Michaela, Miss Michaela, we kiki.
Yeah.
When she shows up, and then also like just the people there. Listen, it's a very queer.
It is. I think the intention for Callan Lord is to serve queer BIPOC.
But there are a few straighties that I see every now and again.
And to them, we're like,
I'm like, wait, guys.
There can be 99 fucking queer people in a room,
but
then one straight, and then everyone's just like, hey.
But it's also interesting too, because like, it's all different walks of life there, and it's so fascinating, especially when I'm waiting for my meds, like at the pharmacy section. Like sometimes you have to wait for like 15 minutes, and I like just see all these different kinds of people, and it's all walks of life coming to Callan Lord, which is fascinating. It's like really sort of great.
Last time we were there, we were talking to a trans woman of a certain age who kept asking us the same question, was wearing a fucking cunty like leopard coat.
Yeah, it was like fur, and
it was like faux fur. Faux fur, was wearing makeup that maybe based on the quality of the makeup, I would say probably may have expired a few years ago.
Well, and maybe she put it on like 2 days prior.
Also, maybe I think it's safe to say that this person may, I guess maybe a particular. I don't know.
Well, she was telling us about her man that was in jail.
And then, but then like she just kept asking, and then she just kept turning around to me and be like, "You're you're brown, right? You're Latino. And
And you were like,
and
obviously.
then she would just like ask me if I was brown a million times. Then would tell me about her freaking like he was. What was she saying? Like, tell me about her boyfriend in jail who was like Latino, just like you. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what you're trying to say. People be picking people up at the Cala Lord pharmacy line.
No, and then she was like, faggots. When she walked over, she's like, look at all these faggots in here.
Which is great. We love. But anyway, speaking of that, famous, faggot here, who I've been in such a funk that I was, prior to this week, I was topping more than I was bottoming for like a good solid 2 weeks.
Sure.
And that's been traumatizing, and as my sister and I have been able to address it. And we appreciate everyone's comments online wishing us speedy recovery from top dumb.
Well, this is why you need to go to therapy.
Speedy recovery from top dumb title of app. Speedy recovery from topping.
Therapy for topping.
Therapy for topping, please. And it's not to say it is something that now has unlocked in my personal life that I feel like I enjoy.
Unlocked. It just makes me think, were you caged?
Oh my God, like Miss Lucas Cage. Were you Lucas Cage? Shout out Lucas Cage, adult performer.
Does he cage his dick?
Honey, his name is Lucas Cage. He chose the name Cage for a reason.
I could never get into caging. I don't.
Oh, we gotta put up. See, okay. So now we're advised yesterday on Trusted Believers and Town Councils. We need to add photos of these people. So we have to add the photo of. So here you'll see the photo of Lucas Cage. This is her. Do you remember Miss Lucas Cage?
I'm not familiar.
It's a traditional like Chelsea gym, some tattoos.
Your
to
type.
make it,
Your type.
Yeah, but then of course my type, who happens to be like a biggest gaping DP fist bottom, who likes to.
Well,
be
you're
caged.
in your. You were just topping for how many weeks,
honey,
girl?
You know the collab.
You know. If he asked you, you'd be like, okay, I guess I'll try to put a fist in.
Because there's certain bottoms too who are such pig bottoms that they'll take any dick. They just like dicks. They're not. They're not like me, who like I tend to be a little bit sizist when I'm a bottom. Like I like a bigger penis.
Well, I'm sure they're a little bit, because if they are gaping, if they have a little micro, they're not going to feel it.
Well, they're not, honey. For these performers, they're not feeling the 9-inchers. They need Red Bull cans in order to feel.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
My body could never.
So Miss Lucas Cage, for all we know, actually, would probably like, okay, you know what? Collab incoming. Lucas Cage in Peru, me topping. Although, can I tell you, when I topped at the very beginning of this week, I have a regular now already in the upper No, but my main story is not about topping, trust and believe. But there is a regular in the Upper West Side, because I tend to go over there at the specific coffee shop to just get some work done, because I really like the space, the environment. It's really inviting for me to get some work done. And so he's only about like a block and a half away from that place. Like he's always taking loads. So I didn't realize that it right above his bed on the left wall, he has a mirror. And I have never, because I've never topped. I've topped a couple times in my apartment, but I never it was the first time that I ever clocked there was a mirror. And so as I'm fucking this guy, I'm realizing, like American Psycho, Jason Bateman style, I turn around and I look at the mirror, and I, for the first time, see myself topping. And I'm like, wait, like, is this what I look like topping?
Was it dysphoric?
So it was actually kind of like, wait, like, this is kind of crazy. Because a more masculine side of me comes out when I'm topping. So I was looking at myself and I was just like, so then I was even changing like the way I was doing it to see like, oh, like this looks good. So it was just like, wait, it was kind of like interesting and fun. I've been really having fun, at least exploring my sexuality, which I think is fair.
I'm happy for my sister.
But this week I was like, listen, I haven't taken a trip to Pound Town as a bottom. Okay, hold on, by 65. Trip to Pound Town, title of that.
Girl, when you're 65 and your hole's gaping and you're trying to get fisted because you can't feel anything else.
So this week I was like, oh my God, like I just really like, I've been in such a funk. I just really need to let some stress out. And unfortunately, when I top, it does get something out and like I can maybe like focus. But like there's nothing like bottoming your hole out so good that you're just like, you just feel like so relieved and accomplished and just like ready to take on the world. So this couple hits me up on Snoofies. Today's Saturday. This is Wednesday. Wednesday. Hits me up on Sniffies. The first message is, 2 top dads here.
My type. Wait, I want to see. Show me. Show me.
Diva.
They live by you?
They live by me in a sense. Yeah, I guess I took the bus both times to go to their place. 2 top dads here. Here I am, visual learner, showing like the images. This is dad 1 and dad 2.
Okay, wait. Scroll. I want to see the face.
Well, I screenshotted it. Fuck, I'll enter their profile
Oh.
when because I wanted to show you. I want to screenshot this.
Oh.
But then this is their the penises.
Oh, is that uncut?
Oh. Mhm.
Wait, would. I
Oh.
would. I would trust I would.
Oh, honey. So I get the images.
It's kind of giving the old that I had dinner with.
Well, daddies, ages 50 and 58. Now.
That's old for you.
Oh.
That's.
Ow!
Oh my God.
Talk
When have you ever hooked up with
Talk
someone that old?
about resurrection, honey. Talk about Easter. Oh, to me, these are people who are. I mean, that probably was actually.
You're a grandpa fucker.
Remember, grandmas need to get fucked now. You know that ad? We talked about this last season.
Oh.
No, grannies.
No, it's like,
It's-
but the ad is like
It's
ugly,
grannies.
ugly
Oh,
grannies.
grannies need to get
Want
fucked
your dick now.
So
Fill their pussy up.
when I got because the thing is the sequence of events happened so quickly that it took me a second to even because I was like, I'm sorry to say, but Miss Peru did gasp when I see the ages. I was like, but then I got the photos and I was like, wait, like they're giving like one of their dicks huge, uncut, especially for that age bracket. I was like, I've never seen.
What
See,
do you
again,
mean?
I'm
Old
sorry-
people have big dicks.
I know, but I never think of that. I never
What,
think.
do you think
of,
it shrivels up as they age?
I'm sorry, but I just never think that way. I never think like, like if
Yeah,
if
'cause
fuck-
you're
if I
close-minded,
fuck a
and you're
23-year-old
ageist,
who has
you're
a hu- If I
ageist.
fuck a 23-year-old who has a
20
huge dick, I don't think, when he's 65, he's gonna have big dick still. Like I'm not thinking of, and I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I don't see people who are older like that sexually. I don't. Until this week.
Wow.
So then
I'm so sorry to our townspeople who are of a certain age.
No, it's
because
not-
Peru just called you ugly.
I didn't say ugly at all. I just said
He said you have a tiny shriveled up penis.
No.
You have a tiny little dick.
No, but
You
listen.
can't fuck.
But listen, so I get.
Meanwhile, Mama, my hole's ready for you.
Oh, Nick's Miss Lucas Cage over here for daddies. You're the Lucas Cage for daddies. You'll
Lucas
take it up.
uncaged.
So, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I wanted to look above the age, and I was like, if they're this horny,
That's
and
big of you. That's really big of you.
if they're this horny and like sending me photos like that, I'm like, there must be like, because I like people who like, like I don't want no soft daddy grandpa fuck. Like sorry, I don't.
And what's wrong with a soft grandpa fuck?
I
Title of
don't
that.
have
What's wrong with a
soft
soft grandpa fuck?
because because like I don't care what age you are as long as
Did they stay hard the whole time? Sorry.
Well, I'm getting there, bitch, because I've seen them twice already. So
Why?
Yes, yes. Okay, so on Wednesday, I'll make the Wednesday one short. I ended up being like, okay, cool, and then it was so funny because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go, and then what happened was, when you're bottoming, and this happens every now and then to all bottoms, like you're douching, and as soon as you're about to leave the door, you're like, I'm getting that last minute rumble, and then I had already told them like I'm about to take the bus.
Mudslide in the
And
toilet.
then I went to the toilet and there was still left, and I was like, "Oh no!" But
Now,
then,
when you say still left, do you just mean like little
No,
remnants, or is that like the water brown?
Sometimes it'd be El Nino. This time it wasn't El Nino. It was just like I still had some left. Like there was still.
like a turd popped out.
It was a few little niblets. Happy Easter. A few Easter bunnies came out. So
the chocolate eggs.
the chocolate eggs. A few chocolate eggs came out. And so we're disgusting. Who listens to this? I mean, honestly, if you listen to this, you're sick.
Yes,
Because-
Hershey
because-
squirts.
because
Hershey
we're-
squirts.
Hershey squirts.
Hershey squirts.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay.
When I was a kid, this is TMI, but like when I was a kid, whenever
Yeah, everyone. Sorry, we just talked about like turds being Easter and chocolate eggs, but this is TMI.
No. But like when I like was a kid in like preschool and I would accidentally like shit
You
my
ate
pants.
your own turd?
No, when I shit my pants, my mom and dad would call it, "Oh, you Hershey squirt."
That's not TMI. That's just cute.
Shitting your pants.
No, but parents always coming up with like a something cute to tell their kids so they don't feel grossed out or
I
whatever.
felt grossed out.
You were like, I don't want a Hershey squirt.
I was like, it smells bad. Anyway, you're saying.
So then I was like, listen, I was like, oh, like the bus is taking forever just to give me time to like do like an extra douche. And I was like, I can't bail on them now. I've been on my era of not bailing because like I don't want to be a flake. Sometimes I flake with people who I don't feel like, they're like my A type. I'm like, okay, they're B types. Maybe I'll flake. Not this time. I was like, no. So
The alternates.
the alternates. So I was like, no, I'm gonna pull through. But then I was like, I did a quick one again, and it came out kind of clear. And I was like, listen, I don't have time. I'm gonna go see these daddies. And I was like, listen, at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, it's a 58-year-old. They're gonna be nice about it. Like we'll just
they've seen it all. They're old.
They've seen it all. Like I feel, and you know what? I was like, you know what? Let me just go. So on the entire bus ride, I was kind of like grumbly still, and I was like, "Fuck, girl, I'm about to meet these two daddies, and I'm about to be like their worst twink Latino nightmare because I'm just about to just mudslide everywhere." Nothing happened. So I get there, honey. These 50-year-olds be fucking. They were so horny.
They do be fucking, girl.
I was expecting them to be like, like, can I offer you some tea or something? No. As soon as I get in there, one's already taking my pants off. One's already like making me choke out, and. These two daddies, one daddy was like a silver hair daddy, and the other daddy was just like a no hair daddy, who was I believe he's Latin, and he's the one that has like the massive uncut cock, and the other one just had like a regular white cock, which was fine, and so
regular white cock.
and so we could not BWC, it's an RWC.
Mm-hmm.
So we have sex.
Shout out to that big white cock townsperson.
Shout out to me, again, so much what an impact this person made.
I'm still pissed that you blocked me.
Still pissed that you blocked, but I'm glad you're a townsperson, so please stick around. Or hit me up.
Oh, I have a shout out. Fuck, it's on my phone.
Oh no.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Wait, I can log into Instagram. No, it's on Grindr. It's on Grindr. Fuck.
Oh, it's on Grindr? You keep getting hit up on Grindr by townspeople.
I know. Shout out.
That used to be me. Where are all my Peruds? Where am I? I haven't gotten a single DM in the last couple of weeks or a Grindr message
I'm
from
the
a
people's princess.
I don't understand why you are the people's princess.
Continue. So the big uncut and the regular white.
So first occurrence happens, and I was actually pleasantly surprised at how fun it was. And at one point, the Latin one was just that you like taking two dicks at the same time, and I was like, okay, daddy, relax, let's do that. And at that point,
did they spit roast you?
And I was a little bit, but at this point, I was thinking like, I'm just trying to get out of this literally clean. So we'll address any other fantasies you may have later, because right now my only concern while you two are fucking me is that I come out clean. Clean as a whistle, had no issues, and I was like, wait, gag. Like, they have no idea that just like 15 minutes ago, I was still shitting on the toilet. So, all goes well. All goes so well, and I was really much more into the Latin one, to be honest, because he had the big cock, and he was like, so I was like, ooh, you know what? I want to be dominated, and I just want to be like really show up and show out. So after I left, we exchanged numbers with one of them. And there's something about daddies too, that they love like trading numbers on Instagram. Like they love knowing everything about you. And like I'm not used to that. I'm used to things just being a much more like we don't need to know that much about each other.
You're gaining my gig.
Oh girl, I've already gotten not only followed on Instagram, but all of my posts have been liked. I've already gotten their friends because I was looking at their profile picture, not their mutual, but like just their Instagram accounts. I saw photos of them with friends. Those friends already follow me. I'm like, I don't know what I did.
You're gonna go to an orgy soon, I'm sure.
Oh no, but also like I'm like thinking ticket sales. I'm thinking, oh, they're all gonna buy a ticket to Joe's Pub.
Well, that too.
Because these people be going to the theater, and one of them is a harpist. They have a huge harp in their apartment.
That's kind of sexy.
I was like, okay, play me. So then I was like, oh.
He's good with the singer.
I was like, I already know that they have a fantasy about two dicks the same night. So yesterday.
You got DP'd.
Yesterday I was like, I'm in a funk. I need to release this energy. I think it's time to get DP'd again. So I text Latin uncut daddy. And I was like, hey, you two free around 3 p.m. to DP me? And he was like, woof, like, absolutely. Like, and then, like, typical just, like, daddy text stream of consciousness, like, oh, we're gonna be having lunch here. And I was like, I don't need to know, like, where you're having lunch, what you're having for lunch. Like, I just want to know if you're free. Like, okay, cool. We'll see you there.
Time and place.
I go there. And I was like, okay, I made sure I fasted, you know, like I Imodiumed out. I just wanted to make sure that I was going to be good because I was like, I think those 2 days I can probably make work. One is pretty, the uncut one's pretty big and girly. Like that shit's big. It's like 9.5, I think, but like, or 9, but the girth is there. But then the other one's more regular. So I was like, I think I can take them both. One of the daddies, the white daddy, cannot have poppers near him because I don't know why they didn't want to ask. They didn't want to be ageist and be like, is it because of your heart? that came out me and I'm so sorry.
Wow.
But I do know that like poppers is bad for the heart for certain people, you know, if you have a heart condition.
I hooked up with an old guy once when I lived on the Upper East Side. He drove from New Jersey to my apartment and he was like, his body was really hard. Like he worked out and I think he did steroids, but he did a hit of my poppers and I thought he was going to have a stroke. Like I was so nervous that I was going to have to call an ambulance because like he got super red.
Oh.
He started breathing really heavily and he's like, and I was like, oh no, he was fine. But like that could happen. Girl.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And I found that out the first time we fucked around. But then I texted the uncut Latin daddy and I was like, hey, by the way, I'm probably going to need to do hits of poppers if, you know, the other guy doesn't mind stepping out of the room, like, you know, like while I get my hit, because like, I can't do it without it, at least not at this point in my life. I cannot get DP'd without poppers.
Sure.
So I go there, we start doing it, and, you know, I try to get stretched out first, you know, try to get the whole warmed up. So, you know, like, you know, they're like tagging.
Well, it is a muscle.
It is a muscle. So, you know, like, and so then it gets
muscle pussy.
So it gets to the point of the act, and I was like, "You guys want to try it?" So one of them steps out, you know, to like let me do my hit of a few poppers, and I'm trying to get ready, and I have never lived out, and I kind of want to keep trying it, because I didn't, you know, the body is such a wonderful thing, because
the body is a wonderland.
Because we did it in so many ways. So I did back facing, like daddy here, me facing him, and then the other guy from behind, right?
Uh-huh.
Then, because they must have practiced with this, because we kept trying to, like, it felt like a porn shoot, to be honest, because at some points it was just technical jargon, you know, do you want to get here? So we switch here, so then I'm here. And at one point, the white daddy was just like, hey, how about I get underneath you and then he comes in, because my dick's smaller and his dick's bigger, so it'll be easier for him to get in anyway. I was like, okay, you guys clearly have experience.
Yeah,
with
they've
this.
probably done it plenty of times
So
before.
I did it back way. I did like regular cowboy. Then I did reverse cowgirl, in which he's in front of me. And I'm like Max Adonis style. Also, again, at photo of Max Adonis. Lucas Cage. And here's Max Adonis, famous bottom who loves to get DP'd. And I'm just like this. And then I did one that I've seen online. We have to put everyone's photos. I need to get all of these people written down, because we gotta get all these images of these rotted.
Well, I'll hear it when I'm editing.
Okay. Well, I also want to make notes.
Well,
So they interconnect like this. Like they get together, you know, like they like
And you're
share
just-
their legs, you know, like
I don't like it.
like this.
No.
And like they get their dicks as close to each other, like they're like scissoring each
Oh, and
other.
you like are writing
and
it.
then you write it.
I don't like that.
I've seen that famously. There's a video that I really like on OnlyFans from Miss Hung Skater and Hung Mike.
Oh wait, I do love Hung Skater.
Miss Hung Skater and Miss either it's Big Mike, I think it's Big Mike actually, Big Mike and Hung Skater with Miss Matthew Ellis, who we've already discussed on the pod here. All of those images should be shown here. Hung Skater, Big Mike, and Matthew Ellis. There's a good video of them DPing this guy, Miss Matthew, and their DP. Oh, honey, you know, there must have been like a freaking, what's it called? There must have been like a, what's it called? Fuck! In movies and film and TV, what your graphics, your, not the mood board, but the what? This,
Girl,
Nick, come on!
I don't know.
You know this, but like the scene when the people who draws the scenes out, and you have your like scenes laid out, but there's a term.
Storyboard?
Storyboard! They must have had a storyboard for all they were going to try. Because, honey, they tried DP in ways I haven't seen very successfully. Mostly because both these guys have big and long penises. So they can really make anything work. And I had seen them do that. So I was like, I want to live my Matthew Ellis fantasy. And I want to try it. Because at certain points, it was a little painful. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get this. Because it does feel enjoyable. But then you have to find the right angle. Honey, when I tell you, I wrote those two penises. And when they were both in, I felt a level. I saw God. I saw Jesus at the cross. I saw Jesus. Because I was like, I cannot believe my body's doing this.
Oh my God.
And I felt so accomplished to the point where I was just like, and then it was like, oh. Whoa. I was like,
I could literally never.
Wait!
My body would never.
When I tell you they were so happy that at the end, when he was just like sitting on the couch naked and I was putting on my clothes and I did rinse off, and then I was fucking clean as a whistle, bitch. Nothing. I was used for a good 30 minutes. Like, everything was perfect. And then they were like, I was rinsing off, and then when I came out of the shower, one of them goes like, we were just talking about how your body was just meant for that. And I was like, wait!
You were born for this role.
I was born for the role of DP bottom. But I had so much fun, and I never would have thought that.
Are you going to see them again?
Well, I think I'm done with them. But like, it fulfilled my fantasy. It was really hot to have like two daddies use me and whatever, and like the DP of it all was really interesting, and like it really made me feel so recharged as a bottom. I really needed to feel that bottom experience again, and what a way to experience bottoming again by this. Now I feel like I may experiment more with what my body can do physically like that. But I feel like I've checked my daddy fantasy, and I think I may be good. Unless I think I may have sex with him again just so I can sell tickets to my show.
Okay.
But after that, I feel like I'll be good.
Got it.
You know.
Got
But
it.
hey, listen. Did you ever think your sister Peru would do a 50 and 58-year-old?
No, because that's
No.
outside your age bracket.
But you know what? There's still room for growth, even in 2025.
Do you have a pioneer?
My pioneer is going to be... Oh, my God. You go first. What's your trailblazer?
My trailblazer is going to be headphones on, Addison Rae. You know, I gotta accept the pain. Have a cigarette to make me feel better. That song I've been listening to on repeat. She's kind of the new pop girl for me.
Really?
Addison Rae, yeah.
She's good. She's great. I don't even know I don't know what my pioneer is. What is my pioneer?
DP,
What?
the daddies.
No, they're not really. Like, what happened?
Jesus.
Jesus. It's Jesus.
Shout out.
Shout out to Jesus, and shout out to all of you all for listening. Thank you for bearing with the technical difficulties last week, but we're so back, or at least we hope we're so back. We're going to be moving on to the Patreon part of this episode, but if you want to be a part of the Patreon community, what should I do, Nick?
You should follow the link in the description, sign up to be either a town council member or a trusted believer, and you can follow us here at Pioneers and Trailblazers on YouTube, Instagram, subscribe to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow Peru at HeyPeru everywhere. You can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownfaceBinch on TikTok, ClownfaceBitch on Twitter. And we'll see you over at the Patreon.
We'll see. We have a good submission from a contemporary Errol from Florida. Shout out, Florida.
Shout out.
We're going to be talking about that and more about, like, you know, Nick's dinner date and what transpired with Daddy over there. But we'll see you next week. If not, we'll see you next week. What about? I'm having a stroke. I hate myself today. Bye!